Jason, have you heard that companies are now dropping the college degree requirement?
Yeah, I've heard about it. It should be a pretty good thing, right?
Yeah, overall, it should be a really good thing. But a new study by Harvard found that more companies are dropping the college degree requirement on the
Mhm.
job ads, but they aren't
Oh,
actually changing how they are hiring.
huh. So they're like, oh, you don't need it, but we're not changing the way we hire people. So sorry.
Yeah, essentially that is
Hmm.
that is what is happening. And the thing is that, like I mentioned, employers are recruiting experts across the US have shown increased interest in using skill-based hiring.
I
So
mean, it makes sense. Like
yeah, it makes sense.
the thing is that like, oh, the college degree is just like a check mark, but like it's also a pretty big check mark.
Yeah, on it. Yeah, degree requirements are a big check mark, but the thing is, like, a lot of these people can do the job. Like, if you have the
Hmm.
skills to do it, you're more than qualified to do it. The thing is, like, skill based hiring, yes, is an approach that prioritizes the candidate's ability to do the job rather than the college degree to diversify the talent pool. So the thing is that, like I mentioned, skill based hiring is really good. It does bring out a lot more
Hmm.
people to come in, but skill based hiring isn't happening. And
I do wonder though, because like I feel like after a certain point, yeah, it is all just skill based.
yeah, no, it is. And I do have a couple more things to say about this. But before that, if you like interesting content like this, consider subscribing. We put out interesting videos daily. We have a library of over 300 videos. And the thing is, subscribing is free. It doesn't cost you anything. And it does really help out the channel. So consider subscribing. So the thing is, many employers are following this approach, the
Hmm.
skill-based hiring, in theory, by removing the college degree requirement from the job posting, but still
Mm.
some still hesitate to apply that in practice.
I do wonder because like from the sounds of it, it sounds like first time job seekers, like like an entry level position,
Mhm.
like that would be a big thing for an entry level position. But I feel like when you're going for a higher level position or a mid level position, they look at not the college you went to, but like what other companies have you worked at? Like they judge you off of like the companies. Like, oh, like instead of the schooling, it's like, okay, that you went to school, that's great, but what companies, like what have you done at those companies?
Yeah, ideally that's how it should be.
Really?
Yeah,
I feel like that's all of that happens. Really,
really?
you
Okay.
don't. Yeah, that's not your
I,
experience.
I think entry level
Oh,
positions, and
entry level
yeah, I
position.
think
Yeah.
entry level positions. I feel like people look at the college and they say
Well,
it's
yeah.
like, oh yeah, this is where you went to school, because like
Hmm.
you could probably, like, the thing is, you could learn a lot of things off like YouTube, off of
Yeah.
Coursera, get certificates. So there's a lot of opportunity for you to like pick up these
Hmm.
things. Um,
But I feel like it's hard to like demonstrate it to like get to the point where like, oh, this company vouches I did this at this company, and that's why you should hire me. Without
yeah.
the experience, like, oh, you don't have any experience, so you don't qualify.
It reminds me of what a lot of people have posted before. It's like, oh, you need a master's degree, you need 10 years of experience, you need all of this for an entry level job now.
Mm.
The thing is, like, okay, the thing is that a new study published by Harvard Business School and the Burning Glass Institute, a research institute focused on the future of work, and analyzed large data sets of online job postings from
Hmm.
2014 to 2023 and found a near 400% increase in the annual number of roles from which employers removed a degree requirement. So overall,
Mm.
good thing. A lot of people were like, "Hey, you know what? Skill-based hiring. That's how we're gonna hire you. You don't need a degree. You don't need. We just want you to have the knowledge,
Hmm.
have the information." It reminds me a lot of what tech coding was. They were like, you could learn everything online.
Yeah.
Because Google, honestly, Google, you could learn everything off Google and YouTube.
I will say this though, because sadly, if you remove a degree requirement, that automatically will take a hit to the like amount of money you make.
Oh yeah,
So like a lot of times the degree requirement means that they are willing to pay more. Like at least like in terms of like the expectation for someone with a degree is that if you're going to go for the job and the job requires a degree, there's a certain like pay level that you would expect as someone with a degree. And I wonder if these job postings without a degree or like that removed the degree requirement are trying to save money by removing the degree requirement for jobs that they realize didn't require a degree. You know, like, oh, this job is not like that difficult to do. We can teach them to do whatever this is, but we're not going to pay them as much to do it because there's no degree required.
Well, let me tell you something.
Oh.
That is a moot point.
Whoops.
And I say that because on average, employers only increase their hiring of candidates without a bachelor's degree by 3.5%.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, they went exactly back to their old ways. They were like, we're going to offer this on paper, but in reality, we're not going to be hiring.
I do wonder, though, it's like you're able to apply for the position and you technically qualify. But then again, like if you have the degree as experience, that means someone with a degree has more experience.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking too, because it's like, look, they're looking for the best candidate essentially. And the thing is, like, you could have 10 years of experience.
Yeah.
And then you have someone with a college degree and maybe like 10 years of experience. They're both kind of equal, but if you need some way to kind of like assess, it's like, oh, which one's going to be the better candidate? That could also be a factor that they're going to be weighing in.
Yeah, I mean, that would be potentially one of the factors. I mean, in that case, if they have 10 years experience, they'd probably be weighing like positions held at other companies and like, oh, what other titles you've had and like accomplishments, etc. Like the general vibe of the person.
Yeah. So the thing is, I'm going to read off a little bit of numbers here. So this in turn translated to no less than 100,000 candidates without degrees being hired each year out of the roughly 77 million total workers hired annually. As the study author noted, the majority of Americans, about 62%, do not have college degrees. So it's a lot of people without college degrees out there.
I wonder if it's like they include like certifications. Like sometimes you don't need a degree. You can just get like
the certification.
A certification of some kind. Like I mean, if you're like a plumber, I don't think there's like a plumber.
Oh yeah,
degree.
No,
I mean, there's a lot of like trade crafts, like a welder degree. I mean, there's like certification classes or courses that you can take.
Yeah, I do think certifications. I feel like a lot of people are going for the certifications, and I do think that it is one of the ways to get a step up against people with the degrees. If you go for very specific things. So certifications are really helpful. You don't have to go fully for the degree. The thing is too, while job degree requirements being dropped from ads, by the way, is an encouraging trend. There is a big difference between changing a job and changing the type of candidate ultimately hired for the role. So
that's true.
Yeah, it's interesting to see because, like, I thought personally that we were leaning towards this way of skill-based hiring, but like entry-level roles, it's
for entry level, it's definitely it's like a very, very competitive because now the floodgates have opened. Like if you open it to everybody, everybody will apply because once you get your foot in the door, then it truly is skill-based hiring because like. It's what you've done. It's not what you've gone to school for. It's like, oh, what have you done? What skills do you have? What have you worked on before? You know, like, do you have the experience of working on like multi-million-dollar projects? Like, can you handle the pressure?
Yeah.
So like they want those like facts.
Yeah, honestly, if you've managed multi-millions of dollars, it's like I would want you over the person who hasn't done this because it's like I know that you could handle the work and you're able to
handle some criticism potentially.
Yeah, handle criticism, been in the workplace, but at the same time, it's like it is hard because it doesn't seem like some companies are doing that or at least not following through with this. But like I do see this, it's like entry level roles, can't you could literally learn everything, but at the same time, they're not probably going to pick you because you don't have that degree. Even though
Yeah.
sometimes the degree doesn't even match what you're doing.
Well, that is very true. It's just like a thing saying that you went to school for something.
Yeah, the very last thing I do want to mention is that the study's author found initially improved their efforts to hire degreeless candidates, but eventually regressed and hired fewer workers in the long term. There's plenty of evidence to support the impact of skill-based hiring.
Yeah.
Lots of evidence.
Yeah.
Research shows it can be 5 times better at predicting a candidate's job performance than their education.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
crazy.
I will say this. This is for people who stayed this long. We both applied and, were denied for positions at different companies because we didn't have a degree before.
Yeah, even though we had the experience.
We have experience in certain things, like they would rather go with someone else. And like, it's not for like, you get to the interview, but then they at the end be like, we really just need someone with a degree. Like it's not you. It's just the fact that like,
that they required it. Yeah, I got told right up front. It's like, oh, you don't have a degree, so
sorry. I mean, like you're perfect, but like
you don't
there's someone else with one.
You don't have this one box checked. But yes, but eventually it does get to more skill based, and more companies are adopting skill based, which is good. But yes, I would want to know from our audience what they think about this. You can leave your comments down below.